And good evening, and welcome to another edition of The Way I See It. It's great to be here. It's Friday. Every Friday, 7 p.m., we're here on The Way I See It with this broadcast. I worked again diligently to get a guest on or to get somebody on here in regards to the Port Authority uh, thing with the union. Port Authority declined to come on here. They said they can't, they will not. On the other hand, the union is having their membership meeting tonight, and I can't get anybody from the executive board on. Maybe next week. I'm still working on that, everybody. So be patient with me as far as that goes. But we have some great topics to talk about tonight. And I was going to get started with my life story. But right now, and I don't normally do this on this program because I think that it's not proper. I don't usually do it on my Friday night program. But tonight, we're going to talk about the Airport Marriott. Okay. And the reason we're going to do that is because I cannot believe that the Airport Marriott got people sick. And I'm talking about sick. Okay. There were several events going on at the Airport Marriott, and I know what goes on at the Airport Marriott because the reason I say that is because I worked at the Airport Marriott many years ago. Okay. Oh, excuse me. So I know what goes on there. All right. And the Airport Marriott, usually Marriott, the company itself, has a lot of strict policies about cleaning, about food quality, about they reasonably take care of their employees, okay? And I have no complaints about the Marriott at all. I worked at the one at the airport, and I worked at the one downtown that's up by the PPG Paints Arena. Okay, so my perspective of Marriott, and I've stayed at Marriott hotels. Okay, I stayed at the Courtyard Marriott in downtown Raleigh about 3 years, 4 years ago. Didn't have a problem. I was treated like a king. Okay. And I've stayed at the Courtyard or at the Residence Inn in Raleigh. Never had a problem. Okay. Never had a problem with any Marriott hotel that I've ever stayed at. Stayed at one in Hershey. Never had a problem. Okay. My mom used to work for Marriott. We used to get discounts on hotels. So when we would go on trips, my mom would execute her discount. Okay. So what I'm saying to you is this. All right. The quality of the Marriott has been put under this microscope now because of this situation. All right. First, it started, there was a sports banquet there for Montour High School. All right. Then there was a wedding there. Now I know about weddings because I DJ them. I've been to some weddings as a personal, as a just somebody attending. Okay. I've DJ'd weddings. All right. I know about weddings. Okay. I know all about them. I'm getting married myself. All right. So what I'm saying to you is Marriott's uh their event director or banquet supervisor or whatever dropped the ball. And that's not right. That is not right at all. To continually drop the ball that like they have. All right. So now this makes them look bad, really bad about what happened. Now, in case you don't know, a bunch of people became sick. Not just first it started with the sports party, then it started with the wedding next, and now several people everybody that had a party there that weekend ended up getting sick. Diarrhea, nausea, all kinds of stuff. Okay. So it was some kind of infectious virus in the food or something. Okay. Somebody had a virus. Somebody may have had COVID. Somebody did something to cause this problem. All right. And now the Marriott looks bad. the one at the airport. I don't know who manages it these days, but all I know is when I worked there, it wasn't like this. We never had these problems. But of course, I worked with a bunch of different generation of people too. All right. This is just another result of laziness. This is another result of somebody, the kitchen manager, the banquet manager, or the event supervisor. Somebody didn't do their job. Okay. And I think with this, somebody should be fired. And it should boil down to the managers all the way down. Okay. This is unacceptable. It would be unacceptable to me if I had a party there, a wedding or something, and people got sick. They might get sued because of this. All right. Comment section's wide open tonight. Anyone interested in putting your comments there, you can. I appreciate those who are out there watching tonight. This is The Way I See It. I am Ralph Williams. I'm so angry about this situation at the Airport Marriott. I forgot to let you know that we're here at Studio 808 in Allentown section of the city of Pittsburgh. Okay. In Studio 808, Studio A. Sundays, we do Facebook in Studio B at 9 o'clock, Sports Corner 9:30, The Way I See It, every Sunday night. We will be there live this Sunday night, Studio B, as always, for The Way I See It and for Sports Corner, 9 o'clock. A lot to talk about Sunday, including we're going to find out what the Pirates are going to do. And speaking of the Pirates, well, we'll be talking about them later on in PNC Park. I got something for you. And PNC Park has brought back something very popular. All right. And what they brought back was Dollar Dog Night. You can go there and get a hot dog for $1. Okay. Now, you know, it costs a lot of money these days to go to any kind of a sporting event of any kind. It really does. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of, you really got to save up to go to a game. Parking, food, the tickets, everything's expensive. Souvenirs, little Johnny, little Harry, little Bobby might want a souvenir, or little Susie. Okay. That costs money. Everything costs money at PNC Park. Well, now this year they want to bring back Dollar Dog Night. Now let me explain something to you. They had this in 2019, right before COVID. All right. People stood in line for hours, and that's with full staff. Okay. That is with full staff. So can you just imagine how long you'll stay in line this year because they don't have staff? Everybody's shorthanded. Nobody has anybody. Nobody wants to work. I met a lady yesterday and revolving to my DJ and her son's party. She was telling me about her daycare business. And I feel bad for daycare businesses because my church has a daycare business. People, owners of daycares are shutting down because they can't find employees. Small business restaurants are shutting down because they can't find employees. And everybody out here is sitting out here today blaming our government. Maybe they're part of the problem, yeah. They made that unemployment too long. And now it's so bad that you got people waiting for their claims for months. I remember Channel 11 News had a mother and daughter on who I criticized. They've been waiting 7 months for their benefits. You could have worked in those 7 months. There were jobs everywhere. All right. The new generation of worker wants a holiday off, wants weekends off, and don't even get through the interview, this lady said to me. I'm not going to mention her name on the air here. Okay. But do you catch what I'm saying? I've been telling you this for a long time. We live in a lazy society now. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants nothing. What can we do to fix it? It's up to you, not the government. Okay? It's you. You, the lazy person. You, the one that won't put the controller down for the Xbox. You, the one who won't stop drinking. You, the one that wants to live off of somebody else's money. You. Okay? I blame parents for this. Some parents. Because they don't raise their kids right to work hard. Because they didn't work hard. Okay? It's really sad. Daycare. And now, since the daycares are closing and they're shorthanded, guess what? The mothers have to stay home now. They can't go to work because of that. You know, it's like nursing. You gotta want to take care of people. That's what nursing is. Well, that's what that daycare job is, taking care of kids. I know some of you don't like taking care of kids. Well, why did you interview for the job then? Oh, I saw $15 an hour. And I got up off the Xbox, off the couch, and decided to go. But when I found out I got to work weekends and holidays, no. Do you see what I'm saying? Comment section's wide open. You could put it on tonight here on The Way I See It. We're every Friday, 7 p.m. live on YouTube. Yes, indeed, we're here every single Friday night. And I want to hear your comments tonight. I know there's a few of you out there that have things you want to say. I don't have a problem with this. 2 weeks ago, I was flooded with comments. And I was talking about the Port Authority and every different topic. Okay? Because I made this comment, and every week I speak to people when I go out on the street. Wait till you hear this life story I got for you. You're going to love this one. Okay? But I have life stories that I tell when I'm out and about in the public. Okay? All right? So, where do you hear this life story I have for you today, which I'm going to come up to in a few? All right? But I had a life story, and I said, and I was talking 2 weeks ago about the war in Ukraine. And of course, gas prices have gone up, everything has gone up because of Ukraine. This, that, everything else. Because Russia doesn't like us. They want to raise gas prices. They want to do this. They want to do that. Everybody's blaming our president, saying he should do this. He should do that. He's releasing 1 million barrels of oil from the strategic reserve, and we're still complaining and blaming it on him. Okay. Now I know I said the sacred word, Donald Trump, but it's the truth. And the whole week I was out this week, I spoke to a whole lot of people. And I get people's opinions out there. And you're not going to believe this, but they all said the same thing, including the ones who don't like Trump. They agreed with me. Agreed with me. If Trump was in office right now, the war in Ukraine would not be going on. That's all I said 2 weeks ago. And I got 1,000 comments. And I'm going to say it again. Not because I would love to have 1,000 comments or 1,000 views of this show. But right now, I don't get that. Okay? But I'm working on it. It's baby steps, like Bill Murray said in the movie, What About Bob? It's called baby steps. You see? That's what the bottom line is there. And I am working on it, baby steps. My popularity's coming along. I go out on the street, people say, hey, I know you. I see you on YouTube. I see you on Facebook. I love your shows. I like your wrestling show that's national. I call in all the time and listen. I like your Wrestle Chat on Wednesday nights. I'm the only one in Pittsburgh that's doing a Mauler show dedicated to strictly to the Maulers. No one else in this town is doing it. I am. And I do it for you. Okay? The Mahler fan. But do you agree with what I've said to you so far? The airport Marriott ought to be ashamed of themselves. The dollar dog night's not going to work for the Pirates. People complained 4 years ago when they used to have it about still the buns would fall off the hot dog. They ran out of buns and they couldn't serve no more hot dogs. How do you run out of buns? You don't order enough. You're having dollar dog night. Who can go to a ball game and get a hot dog for $1? No place. All right. So you go to the Pirate game and you're expecting to get a hot dog for $1. You wait in line, and by the time the game's over, you're getting out of line with your hot dogs, and your kids are like, "Daddy, hot dog." You're standing there with drinks and hot dogs in your hands. You're like, "Come on, let's go eat." Oh, the game's over now. You did all that to get 10 hot dogs for $10 plus tax. And then you go ahead and you go and you find out the game's over. Oh my. The game is over. You stood in line all that time for $1 hot dog. How wonderful, huh? You went to the Pirate game to watch the Pirates in sitting in the stands, not standing in line waiting for hot dogs on a TV monitor. And you know, the interesting thing is, I used to work at Heinz Field, and I could never figure this out. Maybe I know now. Okay. It seems like everybody loves to stand in the back and watch it on the monitor rather than sit in their seat. Well, I know why. Because the stadium's always crowded and the seats are like this at Heinz Field. Okay. Now, fortunately for me, I don't have that problem because I take the T over and I use my motorized scooter and go into the Heinz Field, and I go in the handicap section and sit. I have plenty of space. I can stretch out. I can get off, sit in a chair. I can do whatever I want, and I love every minute of it. I'm not scrunched in like this. I don't have somebody throwing popcorn across the aisle. I don't have to get up because somebody has to go get 5 beers every 10 minutes or popcorn or hot dogs or spend $40 for a bucket of Quaker steak and lube wings. Yeah, I know the experience. It's not the greatest sometimes. Fighting, drunkenness. But I love it when I I I can't wait to see what's gonna happen this year with these dollar dog nights. This is gonna be real interesting, and I'm gonna keep my eye on this, and I will report it back. Believe me, when I find out what is going on here, because I gotta tell you, this is hilarious. Okay. The Pirates are gonna be where the people who run the Pirates are gonna be walking around with bags over their heads because they're gonna need to. Because this is just if you couldn't do it right with the full staff, what makes you think you're going to do it right this year when you don't have the staff? Now, I could be wrong. I haven't heard of any more job fairs for down there. So it's pretty obvious people want to work down at PNC Park. Okay. You can get paid, possibly watch some of the game, get to meet new people, make new friends, get free uniforms, possibly free food. I don't know what their employees do with food down there, or maybe even a discount. So there you go. Airport Marriott. Dollar dog night could be a laughter and a half. And I just spoke up about Trump, and I don't have any comments in the comments section. How wonderful that is. All right, let's talk about life story, which I've been holding on to here for a little while. Tonight's life story is this. Tuesday of this week, I had my taping for my show, Sports Corner. The live call-in show was on Tuesday. It's normally on Thursday. but we had to have it on Tuesday because yesterday, Thursday, the studio was closed. All right. Because I normally have my live call in for Sports Corner and my taping of The Way I See It the same day, the first Thursday of the month. Okay. Well, I get over to the studio and I drove around Allentown the other day. This was Tuesday actually, and then there was Sunday, coming back from church. I noticed that there were a whole bunch of scooters lying around everywhere in Allentown, Balsuver Avenue, stacked on top of one another, blocking the sidewalk, all kinds of stuff, okay, with those scooters. They're everywhere. They were scattered all over the place, on laying flat, all different types of stuff. So I figure on Tuesday, and a lot of people don't know this now, and I'm going to tell you this because of the arrogant attitude and the ignorance that my fiance received from these people. And I'm going to tell you who they are. The address is 1300 Western Avenue. It's a little business, little strip mall there. Excuse me. PCTV has been there as long as they've existed. Because this is my second stint of doing a TV show on PCTV. First time I did it was back in the 90s. And then in the year 2000, I decided to shut it down for reasons that are mine. Okay. I don't choose to talk about it. I have many times. All right. You all know what I'm saying. You know what it's about. So I'm not going to go there. I'm back again. All right. But I have to crawl my way back to get people to call my show. I had one guy call to buy insurance, wanted me to buy insurance. Not to talk about sports. No, it's about buying insurance. I told him I don't need your insurance. I already got what I need. Okay. So we pull in the parking lot. I park in a handicap spot. My fiance gets my wheelchair out for me. I get in my wheelchair and I says, "Why don't you go over there? Because next door to the studio is where the scooters are." Yes, indeed. They don't have a sign up. See, what happened was there was a printing company there, okay? And what had happened was the printing company, I guess, went out of business or their lease ran out or something. So they're no longer there. So now they put the scooter people in there. They fixed them. They picked them up in the van. They do all that stuff, okay? Now, here's what bothers me about this, okay? They're trying to hide from everybody because they don't want nobody to know they're there. And if you want to hide your business, you just don't put nothing up on the sign. All right. So nobody knows they're there, but they do now. Because I want every one of you that lives on the north side, goes on the north side, purposely drive up the 1300 Western Avenue, that little business, little strip mall there. And I want you to go not to PCTV, go to the business to the left of it that's not marked, and bang on the door. Okay? I want you to. Yes, I do. I want to thank you if you do it. Because my fiance went and knocked on the door. Guy answers. She says, "Oh, I want to report." And she even had it written down about some scooters up in Allentown that are sitting around all over the place in different parts. You need to go up and get them. You know what that guy said to her? Call 311. And in case some of you don't know what 311 is, that's the mayor's hotline. It's been like that since Bob O'Connor was mayor. All right. 311. Call 311. You're there. You pick the scooters up. I'm trying to save you some aggravation. And see, this is what happens every time I try to do something for people like this, excuse me, and I get slapped in the face. I get slapped in the face. All right. And that's a shame. All right. So she knocks on the door. She explains to them what's going on. You mean to tell me this guy couldn't go get a piece of pencil and paper? If he has a pencil and paper, or pen and paper, or any kind of paper, all right. I'm sure he's got to have something there. Even he could even have put it in his computer. No, call 311. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go over there and I want you to knock on their door and tell them exactly what they did was wrong. Okay? You are an agency that's privately contracted by Joe Q taxpayer for these stupid scooters that are all over the entire city. Okay? So, being that they're all over the city and they're a nuisance, a lot of people don't want them around. Yeah, I don't either. And neither does anyone else. So guess what? Go get them. I want you to. Go get them. And if you do, yeah, I want to thank you for doing it. Go over, knock on that door. Say, hey, I live on X Street in Southside, or I live on X Street in Homewood. And guess what? There's 300 of these scooters all over the place. Can you come and pick them up? Oh, you got to call 311. Who keeps telling you to do this? You could tell them I sent you because I didn't appreciate the way he spoke to my fiance. That's number one. And number two, I didn't appreciate his attitude. Call 311. What? I'm there. You're there. Why can't you see? This is another thing of nothing and laziness. That's what this is. And that tonight is the way I see it because it's true. I just gave you another example of laziness and nothing. This guy didn't even want to take the time to even, oh, wow. Take the time at all for anything. Nothing. Laziness. Scared. All right. We have some topics tonight. I spoke about this before, but I'm going to speak about it again. And it took a guy to walk into Ramsey Middle School, Gateway School District, for people to change their security things. Well, Ramsey has changed theirs, but a lot of other schools have not. Now, look at what happened in Erie. Okay. And now, Erie's one of my second cities. I like Erie. All right. And just for the heck of it tonight, I'm going to tell you my other second cities. Erie, well, first is Erie, second is Ocean City, and another one that I like, Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay. So those are my second cities. Those are other than living here in Pittsburgh, which if I could, I would leave and go to one of them second cities. And I don't care if I have to shovel through 100 inches of snow up in Erie. It's very nice up there. But something really sad has just happened there. The security in their school, in their high school, it's not good. The teachers are complaining, just like Pittsburgh public schools. Ring a bell? Does it? Yeah, it rings a bell. It rings a big bell. Yeah. Yeah, it rings a bell, all right. The bell of there's a security problem in our schools. And now somebody had to get hurt. Somebody had to possibly get killed because of this. And now the teachers are complaining just like in Pittsburgh public schools. But what is Erie school system going to do about it? Is their board as dumb as the Pittsburgh Public School Board? Where their idea of discipline is programs. Programs. No, we can't put a kid in detention. Parents might get mad. Well, they're the ones that send a kid to you. Why don't you get on their case? Why don't you start issuing them fines? Why don't you start putting them in jail? Because they shouldn't have had the kid in the first place if you can't take care of it. It's that simple. All right. It's that simple. But we have a security problem now, and it's in the Erie School District. The teachers are upset. So are Pittsburgh Public School teachers. I know a teacher who put his hands on a student to break up a fight. He got suspended and he might be getting fired for putting his hands on a kid. He can't defend himself because Pittsburgh Public Schools has to tie everybody's hands. What are we going to do about discipline programs? What are we going to do about the security programs? What are we going to do? Programs. Let's have Pastor What's His Face come in and talk to all these kids. Think that's going to do any good? I have nothing against pastors or anyone trying peace rallies for violence. I simply don't have a problem with that. But the question is it reaching here? That's what the question is. Are you wasting your time? Okay? Parents, you need to worry because your tax money is being used for 2-bit discipline and 2-bit security guards and overplayed and inflated teachers. Not to say that they don't deserve it. They negotiated it as a union. Good for you. I admire. There are good teachers out there. All right. But as you know, in most union jobs, and I've been affiliated with 5 of them in my lifetime, in my 35 years of customer service, I've been affiliated with 5 unions. And I want to tell you, there's some bad ones out there. There's guys that just totally don't care because they make it bad for the rest of the people in the union when they do those stupid things like that. And always remember something, and this is another theme of this show. Stupid never takes a vacation because it doesn't. Stupid will be stupid. It never takes a vacation. It's always there. It's the way I see it tonight. All right, let's get into our segment called Bonehead. All right, tonight we have 2 boneheads. Tonight we have this lady who went the wrong way in Braddock. I guess she didn't know how to work a GPS, or I guess she didn't understand which way to go, or I guess she was distracted on the phone and made a wrong turn. I don't know. She ended up in the river and she had to yell for help. She had to get help. So help came. They got her out of the river. She was alive. But how did she get there? What kind of boneheaded move is that? To make a wrong turn in a neighborhood where you might not know where you are and you didn't. How did you end up in Braddock in the first place? Oh, I'm sorry. It's called historic. When you drive into Braddock, you come off the Rankin Bridge. It's a big sign that says historic Braddock. Our lieutenant governor still lives in Braddock. He don't live in the mansion out in Harrisburg. He lives in Braddock. John Fetterman. Historic Braddock. Lady found a historic way to get into the river, didn't she? That's the bonehead move of the night, or that's one of them. The second one is a man at Rivers Casino complained that he got arrested for banging on a slot machine. Well, you shouldn't have banged on the slot machine. What you do? Gamble your house away that you decided to go to the slot machine and then win any money to win back the money you lost? Oh, how do you go home and explain that to your wife or your girlfriend or your fiance or whomever? How do you go to explain that to little Stevie when he doesn't get his Xbox that he wants? Yeah, he blew it at the casino. That's a boneheaded move. Banging on a slot machine. Come on. Really? Rivers Casino's been becoming the hub of fights lately. Two women the other night were there fighting, having some kind of an argument over a bet. Oh my. This is this is some serious laughter, man. You know what? The reason I'm laughing about it is because it's what I always say sometimes. It's funny, but it's not funny. All right. Next, deer removal. States trying to come up with they're everywhere. Deer are everywhere. And you hit one and it sits there forever. And they're just now trying to figure out something to pick the deer up. Why wasn't this thought about before? What do you privately contract that? Oh yeah, we had to save money. So somebody decided to just cut that job out of the game commission and have oh, they want you to do what you do with potholes. They want you to call it in. Yeah, you see a dead deer laying around, you know, maybe you're starving, maybe you need some supper and you know how to smoke a deer, take it home. Smoke it. All right. Some counties, Clarion being one of them, I think they still do it. You hit a deer, you bring the deer to their courthouse, and they'll give you a free hunting license. And then they take the deer and they have the meat smoked and they serve it at the jail. So they don't have to go out and get meat for the inmates. It's a smart thing. Now, I went down to city council a few months back and I spoke. I had to speak on a couple different things down at Pittsburgh City Council. I didn't go down there. I spoke from Zoom, which I do anyway. Why should I waste a trip down there when I can get on Zoom and do it? Okay. I'm not lazy, I'm smart. There's a difference between being lazy and smart. Being lazy is when you don't want to do nothing at all. And we live in a nothing society anyway. So both of them are combined. Okay. So I told him, I says, city of Pittsburgh has a deer problem. You need to solve it. You need to come up with a plan. No, city council's worrying about plastic bags. And guess what? It's going to pass. This is how weak the city of Pittsburgh is when people don't care about the fact that they can't use plastic bags from a grocery store. Oh, you want to give business to the garbage bag industry. So now everybody has to go out and buy garbage bags because you won't let them use bags from the store for garbage bags. Erica Strasburger, does that make any sense? No, but you don't know because you left the Negley Avenue Bridge to go decrepit. You go by that bridge every day and you didn't see something wrong with it. Okay. And you're worried about plastic bags. When we have violence and shootings and all kinds of stupid and all kinds of things in this town, potholes, okay, trashed up city, but we're worried about plastic bags. An education system at Pittsburgh Public Schools that stinks. We're worried about plastic bags. Plastic bags. That's what we're worried about. Yeah, plastic bags. Okay. Comment section's wide open. Once again, no comments. What's going on? Do I have to talk about Trump all night to get people to comment? Oh my gosh. All right. So that was the end of the bonehead thing and my stuff about deer. Amtrak. Amtrak wants TSA to start doing security at the railroad stations. And you know why? Because they're saying now that the terrorists are starting to take the train because they can't get on the airplane. Now, why wasn't this thought about at 9/11 train, bus stations? Why wasn't that thought about? Why is it all of a sudden that now we're doing this? Uh-oh. Why? Why now? Why? Okay. That's the way I see it tonight because I have nothing more to say. It should have been done a long time ago. Should have been done at 9/11, but it wasn't. And now Amtrak wants it done. What, you didn't think that the terrorists were going to think of another way? Absolutely. All right. GNC building downtown becoming an apartment building. Well, here we are. Well, see, here's the problem downtown, everybody. They can't rent the buildings for business or retail. Too expensive. So they sell it to real estate interest, or the real estate company takes it over themselves and decides, you know what, we can't sell it. We might as well make money with it. And what's the best thing to make money with? Apartments. Let's build these big luxury apartments downtown. Let's charge $4,000 a month rent. Let's do it. That's what's going in the GNC building, another luxurious apartment building. You know, one time I worked in an apartment building downtown on the upper part of downtown. I'm not going to tell you the name of it, but I worked there and new ownership took over the building. And guess what they said? They want to make the building more luxurious. Luxurious. So now that's what's going in downtown and all the office buildings that have for lease or for sale. Either some plush fancy hotel that charges $400 a night for a room or a luxurious apartment building. That's exactly how they have it going now. It's luxurious. Okay. What happened to affordable housing? I know. We don't want those people downtown. We have enough of them. Homeless bums with their tents up all over the place. It looks disgusting. They're waiting for that homeless hotel that they're building over there by 2nd Avenue by the jail. Okay. Peduto, in his infinite wisdom, got a grant, which was great. I'm glad. This was one of the smart things he did when he was mayor. He got a grant to get a building built for the homeless. Okay. Great. Some of these people, they don't want to go to homeless shelters. You know why? Because there's rules. There's rules. They have to be in at a certain time. They have to be out at a certain time. Okay? They have to follow rules. Nobody wants to follow rules. They don't. That's against my civil liberties. That's against everything. Who wants to follow rules? So they put tents up all over downtown. Peduto didn't want to do anything about it. In fact, I'm going to tell you a little story about what he did. There was this homeless camp at the very end of Spring Garden Avenue, close to Reserve Township. Instead of breaking up the homeless camp and getting rid of the stinky smell that was around people's homes that couldn't take it anymore, you know what he did? He went and he put up wash stands and porta potties for these homeless people for their little camp and paid for it with our tax dollars. Paid for it. Okay. That's why Bill Peduto's not mayor anymore. But I urge the new mayor, Ed Gainey, to find something here. And I'm not talking about educational programs. I'm talking about getting these people off the streets and stop this panhandling and stuff like that. Joe Biden, stop giving Ukraine $400 million here, $200 million there, $800 million there. Stop it. You know what that money can be used for? To feed people in this country, to get homeless people off the streets. In Los Angeles, they actually have a czar. They have a guy who he works for the city. He's paid for by the taxpayers. You know what he does? He goes around and he talks to the homeless. They have tents all on sidewalks. I've seen it. I haven't seen it personally, but I've seen pictures of it. I have friends that live in LA. And they sent me pictures of it. I seen it oh, see, I unlike some of you, I watch the news because I want to know what's going on. Okay. I want to make sure that if we're under a nuclear attack, that I know what I need to do. Okay. Some of you, a lot of you, don't want to know what's going on. Don't care. Oh, that's negative. Okay. But when somebody shoots you because you didn't know that that person was standing in front of your building and the news said it, or in front of your house, and they come up and shoot you on your way out the door, maybe you should watch the news. I know there's too much of it. Yeah, and the news sometimes stretches things. They get stories backwards. They make you panic like they did for COVID. Oh, oh, excuse me. Just like they did for COVID. There's people still living in their homes. They haven't even left. Their kids are still at home. What's wrong here? Oh, we're scared of the news. The news made us scared. News didn't make me scared. Let me ask you something. If the news told you to jump off the bridge, would you go to the bridge and jump off of it? Probably, because the news told you to. And this is why stupid never takes a vacation. If Governor Wolf, who was our dictator, tells you to jump off the bridge, you probably would do it because he told you to stay home. Okay? He told you to stay home. He told you it was bad outside. He told you if you go out, you got to wear a mask. I did all that. I stayed home for a little while. I went out. I did my stuff. I took care of my business. I drove around in my car, in my vehicle, just like a normal life. Why? Because I'm not scared about COVID. All right. Study says that Pittsburgh is among the best cities for homebodies. Well, we know that. But sometimes homebodies are not exactly on purpose. Sometimes, people fall into being a homebody. They might have to stay home and take care of a sick spouse or a relative. Okay. Sometimes homebodies are not, sometimes the husband doesn't want the wife to work, or the wife has a good job and the husband stays home. Nothing wrong with being a homebody. But if you're a homebody for the right reasons, not a homebody because you just don't want to work at all. See, that's where I have a problem with this study, because their study is saying that we're one of the best cities in the country for homebodies. That's scary, because what that means is that we have people out there who just don't want to work. Okay, that's scary. That's very, very scary. All right, you want to be a homebody and you don't want to work. Now, if you're, as I said before, if you're a homebody and you are there because your mom's sick, your dad's sick, your kid's sick, your spouse is sick, okay, and you have to take care of that person. Being a homebody, I don't have a problem with that. If you discussed it with your spouse, that hey, it'd be better off if I stayed home and made sure little Stevie got off the bus on time, and I could take him in and make him a bologna. Oh wait, I'm sorry, we don't make bologna sandwiches anymore, kids. I'm sorry. We don't do that. We take them to McDonald's, or we bother the school to make lunches because we're too lazy. A loaf of bread is $2 or $1 at the most. A little bit of bologna. If you get Oscar Mayer in the deli section, it's a couple bucks. Peanut butter's not that expensive. You get it at the food bank. So don't give me that it's too expensive. No, it's not. Okay. But during COVID, all the schools were handing out lunches. Handing out lunches. They didn't want the kids at school, but you could go to school to get a lunch. If you're not in school, you don't get a lunch. It's that simple. You stay home and make a bologna sandwich. Okay? And that tonight is the way I see it on that. On that study in regards to homebodies. Catalytic converters being stolen. This is an old story, but it keeps on going on because the uranium in the um inside the catalytic converter is very expensive, and you could take them to a scrap yard. Well, now the authorities, the police, the governments, and stuff like that, they're starting to go after the scrap owners now because the scrap owners are taking it and they're not asking them where they're getting it from. All right. So let's say I walk in with 100 pounds of uranium and catalytic converters or whatever, and the scrapyard gives me what, $600 or whatever. I have no clue. I know it's thousands of dollars. I know that. Okay. So in the meantime, excuse me. Wow. In the meantime, here we are with these people losing their catalytic converters, and the one car dealership lost a whole bunch. Okay. People are getting desperate out there. As I said before, everybody are lazy. You got drug dealers out there struggling because they're, I guess their drugs aren't selling, so they figure we'll go out and steal catalytic converters and make money. Go buy drugs because we can't sell them. All right. And the ones that are selling them, they're not making the kind of money they used to, just like everybody else. It all boils down to everything, no matter what it is. Okay. You got junkies out there stealing like that. You got homeless people stealing. All right. Now, I have to say this, and I have to sort of eat my words a little bit, and I have to keep to myself on this matter because of a guy that I'm affiliated with that helps me with my wrestling show. He's doing his own wrestling thing here, and I've had him on my show a few times. I do a wrestling show here on YouTube on Wednesday nights. It's called Wrestle Chat. It's at 7 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock on Wednesdays now, starting next Wednesday, I will be back with Mauler Talk. I got a lot to tell you about Mauler Talk coming up. I'm working on trying, and I don't know how Channel 11 got to get Kirby Wilson on. I can't figure out even how to get Kirby Wilson on my shows. The head coach of the Maulers. I have no idea where they got that information. It's nowhere. It's not on a website. I've checked corporate office. I can't even get a phone number or an email or anyone. I have to go to Facebook pages to get somebody's attention, and I can't even get that. So I don't know if it's me or if it's just the fact that Channel 11 has some better sources than I have. But, again, Wednesday will be at 4 o'clock, Mauler Talk. We're going to talk Pittsburgh Maulers. I'm working on getting a guest on. It's not looking good, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm one of them people. I'm one of them folks, ladies and gentlemen, who don't leave no stone unturned until I get what I need. Which means if I have to turn over every stone to try to get a Mauler guest on here or to get somebody from the USFL to come on my show, I will do it. And I will do it until I can run out of resources or run out of whatever. And my producer down in California, who produces my national show, my two national shows, the Black and Gold Sports Podcast and Wrestle Talk, which is on every other Thursday, and the Black and Gold Podcast is on every other Thursday. Okay? Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631. All right? We talk professional wrestling one week, which we did this past Thursday, and next week we talk sports. This week we mixed it up. Half the show was sports, half the show was about WrestleMania and wrestling. It's very popular. We have a lot of listeners. Okay, and you can listen in too, and a lot from Pittsburgh. And that's great, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. All right. Other shows I have Tuesday night here on YouTube live, 8 o'clock p.m. Sports Corner with me, Ralph Williams. And don't forget on Sunday night's Facebook page, on my Facebook page, 9 o'clock, Sports Corner, 9:30. The way I see it, 30-minute editions on Sunday. Okay. And then don't forget about PCTV channel 21, channel 21 Comcast 47 Verizon Cable, and on their Facebook page and on their website, pctv.org, and on their Facebook page, PCTV's Facebook page as well. You can catch The Way I See It in sport and replays of Sports Corner as well. All right. So that's all my lineup of everything I have going on. And every Saturday at 5 o'clock on PCTV is Sports Corner. Before that, at 4 o'clock is the Boxing Authorities, and then at 6 o'clock is Steel City Sports World. You know, Steel City Sports World's got 3 great guys. One of them happens to be my co-host on my TV edition of Sports Corner, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudio Rosano, who was on this latest one I just did because I had to fill in for Smoking Jim, and Luther Dupree. 3 great guys. They do a nice boxing show at 4. I'm on at 5 on Saturday, and then at 6 is Steel City Sports World, and that is the 2 hours of great sports that you can have and watch on PCTV. Channel 21 Comcast, 47 Verizon, PCTV's Facebook page, and their website, pctv.org. The way I see it's on a rotating basis. Check local listings. Check my Facebook page. I'll let you know when I can, when it is on, as soon as I know when it is on. Please be careful if you're a Comcast customer of the guide, because the guide hasn't been right for the last week. Okay, it's been putting different things on there that are not supposed to be there. All right, so just letting you know about that as well, and what other shows I'm doing. I'm national. As you see, I'm national here on YouTube. This is national. Anybody can watch me from anywhere. I got watchers up in Alaska and all across the United States, Texas, everywhere. All right. So Arizona, California, I got people to watch everywhere. They just don't comment, but they watch. Okay. So I thank you for watching tonight here on The Way I See It. We're running out of time, but I have one more thing I want to talk about, and this is very disturbing. The Democrats are holding on to a very rare lead in the polls now, as far as the Senate and the House go, in the State House and the Senate. Okay, Republicans are starting to really come around, and the Democrats are losing focus. They're losing a lot of different seats. Districts are getting changed. Things are happening. And if you're a Democrat and you care, it's because of Biden. Okay. You know, I admit I voted for him. Not that I didn't like Trump. I just didn't like my president acting like a third grader on TV. Excuse me. But I never expected a president that does nothing. Okay. He's releasing millions of gallons of oil, of fuel and gas from the strategic reserve because he's afraid to go after the gas companies and the fuel companies. He's afraid to start issuing fines. He's afraid to start shutting them down, some of the ones that violate the rules. And it's been going on for years. The FCC, because of you folks, unlike myself, of course, don't know that the gas companies are stealing from you when you use a debit card. They take $55 out of your account and you didn't authorize it. They put it back in, but that's theft. And you do nothing. Perfect example of nothing in this country. All right. Thank you for watching The Way I See It. Have a good, safe weekend. And I will talk to you next Friday right here on YouTube. We're here every Friday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And have yourself a great night and a safe night.
Make more time.